Good day everyone, Mr. Cargill here with our next AutoCAD video. Now for this video, we are going to be looking at how we would go about producing this drawing right here in oblique projection. Now for oblique projection, I already did a video on this, on how you would produce this drawing in isometric, and now we're going to look at how we would do it in oblique projection. Oblique is somewhat similar to isometric, except for the fact that the front face of whatever figure you will be drawing in oblique projection, the front face will be flat, and then for the sides, instead of going off at a 30-degree angle like isometric, they will go off at a 45-degree angle. Now we have two types of oblique projection. We have cabinet oblique projection and we have cavalier oblique projection. All right, now this is some information here. This is off Wikipedia. Wikipedia isn't really supposed to be used for information and doing research and stuff like that, but I am aware of the topics and the different types of oblique projection, so I proofread the information to ensure that it was true first, but overall you wouldn't want to be using Wikipedia for research purposes. But anyways, for cavalier oblique projection, the difference between cabinet and cavalier oblique projection is that the lines that project out at a 45-degree angle, in cavalier projection they will keep their true length, and in cabinet oblique projection they will be cut in half. So right here it says that it has three axes, X, Y, and Z, alright, and the scale remains at 1:1. Okay, and then for cabinet it says that unlike cavalier projection, where the third axis keeps its length, the cabinet projection, with cabinet projection, the length of the receding lines is cut in half. So what does all of that mean? This is what it means. It means that for this drawing here, if I was to do this drawing using cavalier oblique projection, this side here would go out at a 45-degree angle, and it says that this side is 30 because it's 15 plus 15. So I would draw this line at 30. Alright, so that line would be exactly 30 if I was doing cabinet oblique projection. Sorry, if I was doing cavalier oblique projection. Alright, it would be 30. But if I was doing cabinet instead of cavalier, then it would be cut in half. So this line here, the length of this line, instead of making it 30, I would make it 15. Alright, and so on, just for the lines that project out at a 45-degree angle. Alright, so if all the other lines remain the same, so the front, these lines at the front would remain the same. So this is 100, that would stay at 100. This going up is 60, that would remain 60. The diameter for this is 50, that would remain as 50. These lines that go up as well, so this is 10, that would remain as 10, and so on. But the lines that go out, that project out at a 45-degree angle, those will be cut in half. Right, so we're going to keep it simple. So I'm going to do this one in cavalier oblique projection, but do understand that there's also cabinet oblique projection that would look different. All right, good. So with that said, let's head over to AutoCAD. All right, so this is the drawing that I did right here. Okay, all right, so I'm going to show you now how we would go about producing this drawing. All right, so over here we're going to start with the front of the figure, and for the front of the figure the measurements are given. This line is 100, this going all the way up is 60, and from here to here is 50. So let's draw this rectangle first. Alright, so I'm going to select a rectangle, and I'm going to make my rectangle 100 by 50. So 100 comma 50, enter. Okay, and that is my rectangle. So now this rectangle that I just drew was this part here, from here to here. So I need to add this section right here. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up by 10. So there we go, and then bring this across by 100, and then just bring this down to that point there. Okay, Now we need one more thing for the front part of the drawing. We need a for the front part of the drawing we need this circle here. All right, we need this circle here. All right, so to get that circle, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to select a line, a diagonal line from here to here. Why do I do that instead of just drawing the circle here? Because the center of the circle isn't in the center of this rectangle. All right, which is what this part represents. The center of the circle is in the center of this entire rectangle here. All right, so to find the center, I'll just draw two diagonals, one from here to there, and then I'll draw next one from here to right here. Good. So now I can select a circle, and the diameter of the circle is going to be 50. So the radius is going to be half of the 50, which is going to be 25. So I'll type 25 and press enter. There we go. So now I can get rid of the diagonals. I just needed them to get the circle. And this line here, I wouldn't be seeing that line. All right, so I would trim that out. TR, enter, enter. Or you could select the trim command up here. So I'm going to trim that out. Okay, good. And then now I'm going to start working on the sides because the front is finished right there. So I'm going to start working on the sides. So now it says that this here is 30 millimeters. All right, and we can look at the drawing, 15 and 15. So this side is 30. All right. Now to get this done, we are going to project this out at a 45-degree angle. So unlike isometric that is done at a 30-degree angle, for oblique the front is done in a two-dimensional manner like this, and then for the sides it projects out at a 45-degree angle. So here in polar tracking, I'm going to click the arrow beside polar tracking and I'm going to set this to 45. All right, and then I'm going to ensure that I have polar tracking turned on. So right there, turn on polar tracking. So what that does now is this. Now click here and project this line out. You will see the green line will show me that that is 45. So every 45, so from 0 to 45 to 90, so on and so forth. All right, to 135 and so on. All right, so now I'm going to draw this line at a 45-degree angle. So just like that, and then I'm going to type 30 since the length is 30. All right, so there we go, and then this line goes up by 50, and then it comes here. And then we could, and let me just draw this here. I could have copied, but let me just draw our next line here. And this line is also 30. Then I just close that right there like that. All right, so now we have that side completed. All right, so let's just get the top of this figure before we continue. So to get the top, I could just copy this and bring it over here, or I could just draw the next line here. All right, so I'm going to draw this line at the same 45-degree angle, of course, and this is going to be 30 since the length is 30, and just join it up right there. Okay, so there we have the top. So now what we need is this button here, and this, and then this button over at this side. All right, so if we should look at this button right here, okay, the center of the button is what, 15 up and 15 over here, and we'll get the center of the circle that makes the button, and then it has a diameter of 20 millimeters. All right, so let's get to that drawing. All right, so let me select like a lighter line for this, like something like, actually, yeah, let me do that. All right, so here, let me just do this on the next layer. Let me just create a new layer quickly. So to create a next layer, just go to layer properties, click here to create new layer, and I'll just call this construction for my construction lines. Okay, and let me change the color here from white to like a deep grayish color. All right, so I can change but the zero layer to white, and I will change that to this construction layer here. I will select by layer, and it will always be in the same layer, the same color as the layer. All right, so now I'm going to find the center of the circle. So here, so as you can see, the midpoint here, that's the midpoint. Just ensure that in object snap, so this is a drop down arrow beside object snap. When you click that, ensure that you have midpoint turned on. For me, for the most part, I just always keep everything on, unless something is like interfering with what I'm trying to do, then I turn it off, but I just always keep everything on. All right, so then now bring this across. Here you can see the green line, or you can just turn on ortho. All right, so just bring it across like that, and we're going to type 15. All right, so why do we type 15? Because as you can see here, the distance from here to here is 15. All right, so we went up, we found this point here, which is halfway, and then we went across by 15 to get the center of our circle. Okay, all right, good. All right, so now, all right, actually I should probably make this a different color, because sometimes with the gray lines, the grid lines for the AutoCAD itself, you could confuse yourself with those. And I could turn off the grid lines, but I want to keep them on so that you can see. So let me just use a brighter color, like cyan. Okay, good. All right, nice. All right, so now this is 15, and it says that the diameter for the circle, which makes the button, is 20. So we're going to need to create a square to draw the circle. All right, so let's create that square, and that square is going to be 20 by 20, since the circle has a diameter of 20. So let's do this. This is 15 here. This would be the center of our circle. So from there, I'm going to click here, and I'm going to bring this line down by 10. All right, so I'm going to bring this down by 10, and 10, of course, because 10 is half of 20, and the diameter is 20. And then I'm going to project it up in this direction also by 10. All right, then from here I'm going to click on this line, I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to bring this out by 10. Okay, so now this is we're almost finished with like completing the square, but we need to do one more thing. This here is from here to here is 15. All right, but we need the square to be 10. So what I'm going to do is to actually take off 5 of this, 5 millimeters of this. I'm going to click on that line and then click here, and I'm going to bring this across, and I'm going to type 15 and bring it across and just type not 15, sorry, 5, since you're just taking off 5, enter, and there we go. All right, so now to complete this box, I'm going to click here, I'm going to click copy, I'm going to copy from here, bring it over there and there. So let me repeat what I just did. I clicked on this line and I select copy, and I copied it from the center, I copied it from here, and then I paste it there, and then I paste it at the end right here as well. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for this next center line. I'm going to click on that, I'm going to select copy, I'm going to copy it from the center, I'm going to paste it here, and I'm also going to paste it there. All right, lovely stuff. Now here is where we are going to now construct a circle in oblique, and this is why I chose this specific drawing to do as well, because it has a circle, and when you're constructing circles in oblique projection, it's different than when you're constructing circles in isometric projection. All right, so let me show you how we go about constructing circles in oblique projection. All right, so like for right here now at the top, I'm going to select a line, I'm going to click right here at this midpoint, then I'm going to bring this line up at a 90-degree angle, no specific length. All right, so it's no specific length, I just brought a line up. Then I'm going to draw a line from here, all right, from this midpoint, and I'm going to draw that at a 45-degree angle to meet this line right here. Okay, so let me trim this, enter, sorry. Alright, so let me trim that. Alright, so there we have that. So now we're going to do the same thing over the next side, but this time instead of bringing the line up, we're going to bring it down, but at a 90-degree angle. So like that, no specific length. Okay, and then from this midpoint, we're going to draw this line across at a 45-degree angle. like that. So now we need to extend this line down to meet this 45-degree line. So let me just extend this like that and trim what I don't need. Alright, so let me repeat what I just did a while ago. I drew a line from here, from this midpoint, and I brought that line up, no specific length. Then from this midpoint, I drew a line at a 45-degree angle. Okay, then I came over to this midpoint and I drew a line down at a 90-degree angle, no specific length. And I drew a 45-degree line from this midpoint to meet that line, no specific length. So with that, we have all the points needed to now create our circle. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the 0 layer to draw our circle. Alright, so to draw the circle, this is what we're going to do. So we're going to draw the circle in quarters. So for this part of the circle, I'm going to click here, that's going to be the center, and I'm going to bring this circle to this point right here. Alright, so I'm going to bring the circle to this midpoint here. So again, for this circle, this was the center. Alright, and then I brought the circle right there. Okay, so the radius of this circle is from here to here. Right? The radius of the circle is from there to there, or from here to here also. Okay, so now that gives me that portion of the circle. Good. Now to get the next portion over here, I'm going to select a circle. I'm going to use this as the center, bring this here along this 45-degree line like that, and that is going to be my next quarter of my circle. Now you're not seeing the circle as yet, but you're going to see the circle in a minute. Just want to ensure that I'm not confusing you and that you understand what I just did. All I did was to draw a next circle with this as the center, and then the radius would be from here to right there. All right, and that's my circle. So we need 2 more circles now to complete this, and they're going to be smaller circles. So I'm going to click on a circle. I'm going to use this as the center and bring that circle to right there. Okay, so again, what I did, I selected a circle, used this point as the center, and brought the circle along to this point right here. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing again. I'll select a circle. I'm going to come here as the center, all right, where these 2 diagonal lines meet, and then I'm going to bring that circle down to here. Okay, all right, so all I did was to draw the circle from where this 90-degree line met that 45-degree line right here, use that as a center, and I brought the circle to there. All right, now I'm going to do some trimming so that you can see our oblique circle. All right, so follow me. Trim, TR, enter, enter. So now I am going to trim here. I'm going to trim here. I'm going to trim here. I'm going to trim this. Trim all of this. I'm going to trim this. Trim that. Trim here. Trim here. Trim that. Trim this. Trim over here. Trim that. Trim this. Trim here. Trim here. Trim this. I could just delete this also. I have to delete this. Alright, so let me delete that. And then select the trim command once more. Alright, and then I'm going to trim here. Trim here. Trim that. Okay. I'm going to trim all of these like that. Okay, now if I should freeze the construction layer, alright, if I should freeze the construction layer, then we would have our circle here. Now the circle kind of looks funny, but that's only because it's done in oblique projection. Okay, alright, so now I'm going to turn on back the layers and I'm going to bring the circle up. And what I mean by bringing the circle up is this. Here, All right, as you can see, this goes up by 5. All right, so that goes up by 5. So we're going to bring our circle now up by 5. How are we going to do that? This is how we're going to do that. So I'm going to first join all these pieces into one, and I'm going to do that by clicking on all the 4 pieces of the circle and typing J, enter. So J means join. So now they're all joined as one. If I click on that, it will highlight the entire circle. All right, so now I'm going to bring that circle up by 5, and to do that, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to click on the circle. I'm going to select copy. I'm going to come to the center here, and I'm going to copy it up at a 90-degree angle like that. All right, and then I'm going to type 5, enter. All right, so just like that, I brought the circle up by 5. Now in object snap again, I said that I always keep everything on, so ensure that you have quadrant and tangent turned on. All right, so now I'm going to select a line, and I'm going to draw a line from this quadrant here to this quadrant down here. Okay, and then I'm going to draw a line from this quadrant here to this quadrant down here. Good. So now I'm going to turn off this layer, the construction layer, so that we can see what's happening here. So now we need to do some trimming. So I'm going to trim this here, trim that, trim this, and this little piece here as well. Okay, so there we have our button in Cavalier Oblique projection. Okay, so now that we're done with the button, we can move over to the middle of the camera, and you can see right here, I'm going to do this part, and it says that this line here is 35 millimeters away from here. All right, and then this thing here is, this distance here is 30. All right, so let's get to drawing that. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm just going to draw a line from here at 35. All right, since it's 35 away from the edge, and then now I'm just going to bring this down here, bring this line down here. I'm just do this. I'm just, yeah, there we go. Let me just trim this. All right, good. And then it says that from here to over here is 30. So I'm just going to draw a line. I could copy it as well, but I could also draw a line at this angle 180 and make that distance 30, and then just bring that to this point here and then trim it. Again, I could have just copied the line across by 30 also, but I like doing everything fully without any shortcuts so that you can understand. Yeah, so I just deleted the line that I drew here and the line that I drew here. All right, now it says here that this goes up by 10 millimeters. All right, so we're going to draw that line up by 10 millimeters. So here, this goes up by 10. Okay, and this here also goes up by 10, and you join them like that. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just draw a line up by 10. Actually, this line here, I could copy this line here, bring it to here and also here, and just join the lines like this, join that like this, and join this like that. Actually, I didn't need to draw that, but I just did it so that you can probably understand better. All right, so we have that. So here it says that this angle is a 45, is at a this line is at a 45-degree angle. All right, so what that means is this. It says that that angle there is 45. So if I'm looking at this from the side, I would see that this is a 45-degree angle. No, when I did the isometric projection for this, I had to draw this line at 60 degrees. Why did I have to draw that line at 60 degrees? The reason I had to draw that line at 60 degrees was because, as you know, in isometric, lines are drawn at a 30-degree angle. So that means that for this angle right here, this line would be at 30 degrees, and then if I draw next line here at 90 degrees, okay, if I was to draw a line at if I was to draw a 45-degree angle, it wouldn't properly bisect the angle that is 30 and the 90 degrees, because 90 minus 45 is 45, all right, and then 45 minus 30 is 15. So this line needs to be exactly in the middle. So in the drawing, when I did it in isometric, this line was drawn at 60 degrees. All right, why 60 degrees? Because this line is 30, and if there's a 90-degree angle here, in order to properly bisect that angle, we'd have to draw that line at 60. All right, because 90 minus 60 is 30, and 60 minus 30 is 30. So in the case of our oblique projection, that line is 45. All right, so this line here is 45 and this line here is 90. So if we're to draw a line that should properly bisect this, as you know, a 45-degree angle would properly bisect a 90-degree angle if it was done like in two-dimensional. So if that was that, then 45-degree angle would bisect it perfectly like that. All right, but this is at 45. So if we were to draw a 45-degree angle, we wouldn't get that angle there because this is already 45. So in order to properly bisect the 90 and the 45, we're going to draw this line at an angle of 67.5. Now, why 67.5? It's because 67.5 would fall right in the middle of 45 and 90. All right, because 45 divided by 2 is 22.5, and if you add that to 45, you get 67.5. All right, so if you add 22.5 to 45, you get 67.5, and if you minus 22.5 from 90, you get 67.5. All right, so we're going to draw this line at an angle of 67.5. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to bring a line up, no specific length or angle or anything. I'm not going to press I'm not going to actually draw the line. I'm just going to start the line and then move my cursor anywhere up in this direction like that. No specific angle or length or anything. So now I'm going to press tab. All right, so when you press tab, it gives you the option to input the angle. So I'm going to press tab, and then it's giving me the option to input the angle. So now I'm going to type 67.5, and I'm going to press enter. Okay, and there I have my angle. So now I can trim this. All right, so let me trim this and let me trim that. Okay, and now I can copy this from here and bring it across to this point right there. Okay, and then now I can line up these two lines here like that. Okay, so now I can delete some things that I don't need, and that's why I said I didn't need to draw this line here. So I can delete that line. I can also delete this line, and then I can trim the other lines. I can delete this line since it wants to this, and then I can also delete this, and then we get to trimming, and we can trim that and trim this and trim this here and trim that. All right, so now we have the middle section of the camera. Now we have this section right here. Okay, so now the only thing left for us to get is this box here, which is our next button. All right, so to get this square button over here, it says that this is the center, and from the center to over here is 15. Now as you can see, this 15 does not go to the base of the button, it's at the top. So that means that from over here to here, this point here is 15. All right, and the sides of the button, the lengths are not given, so we're going to assume that the lengths are 10. Alright, so we're going to use 10 for this. Okay, now here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to come to this midpoint here. Let me select the, let me turn on about the construction layer and select the construction layer. Alright, so we're going to draw a line from this midpoint, and we're going to bring that line across by 15. Okay, so we're going to bring that line across by 15. So when we brought across that line by 15, we are now at this point right here. Alright, at this point here. Good. So now to get the square, what we're going to do is to draw a line here by 10, like that, and then come across here by 10, like that, and then draw a line down here by 10, like this. Okay, so now we have the top of the square. So I'm just going to draw a line down by 5, and then I'm going to draw a line here by 10, and I could just copy the top square and bring it down, but I could also just draw this back 10, and then join that like that, then bring a line across here by 10, and then join this here. Okay, and then let me just change this from the construction layer and bring it into the next layer, into the 0 layer. There we go. And then I can turn off the construction layer. Well, freeze it. Alright, so let me just do this. Okay, alright, let me change this to the 0 layer. Oh, it is in the 0 layer. Okay, good. Wait, why is it? There we go. Let me select this, and then let me freeze this. Alright, nice. Now, there we have our finished oblique, Cavalier oblique camera. Alright, now you can see why cabinet oblique projection is a thing from the fact that we did this in Cavalier. And the reason why you can see that is, for the side, this is 10 and this is 10, but this side looks longer than this side, even though they're the same length, and we can measure and we can see that they're the same length. So this is 10, from here to here is 10, all right, and from here to here is also 10, but this side is going to look longer because it's done at a 45-degree angle. So that's why we have cabinet oblique projection, which would now cut this in half. It would look the same length as this. All right, so that's why they use cabinet oblique projection, because it looks a bit more realistic than Cavalier oblique projection. Okay, so there we have our finished camera in oblique Cavalier oblique projection. I do hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, you could drop a like and a sub. That would be very much appreciated. And you could also comment and let me know what other videos you would like me to do. All right, so thank you for watching, and do have yourselves a wonderful day.